Wiggly, I choose it, yo. Hey, step inside, I give thanks and the highest praise. Ground myself to Mama Earth, connect out the space.
Well, hello everybody. My name is Dominic Corkin, aka Mr. Wiggly, and you are in tune for another Sunday afternoon. Sorry, we're running a few minutes late. I realised I'd kind of missed a couple of things off, and also I was chatting to Jamie on his stream, bigging up this one, and he said, "Oh, you'll be on in like 6 minutes." I'm like, oh my god! Anyway, fabulous to see you all. Thumbs up if you can hear me, just in case I go on for 20 minutes without anyone hearing a word that I say. I think we're all working today, so it's lovely to see you all. Loads of people already in the chat. Tony Duncan, hello to you. You are now the final of the new branch of moderators on the stream, so thank you to all of you. We pay our huge respects to Inky, who is still queen of everything Wiggly, and she will be doing, running things for many years to come, I do hope. Oh, you can hear me as well. That's really good. Thank you. But so she's been our moderator for the first year, all on her own, which has just been incredible. And I suddenly thought, well, maybe she could do with some help. We started getting a few bots in. So some lovely people volunteered, and they are all modding the chat. So be nice to them. But I mean, they won't. All they're doing is looking for bots. They're not going to kick you out or be nasty in any way whatsoever, because that's not what this show is all about. So hello to Tony Duncan, who was in first, from what I can see. Hello to John Bryans from Scotland. Welcome to you. A new name in the chat, I think, but pardon me if not. Azio Head's in there, Paul Talbot's in there, Sasquatch is in there, Kent Spong is in there.
Kent Spong, can you tell me what's wrong?
I actually met up with Kent in real life and Richard Hilton this week, which was incredible. I have some video of Kent Spong's shed, which we'll probably save for the 60th show. This is episode number 57. It really is a shed full of amazing synthesizers in varying states of disrepair, I guess. Sasquatch, hello to you. That reminds me of a dream. That's going to come out wrong, isn't it? But Sasquatch, there is a dream I need to tell you about, in which Sasquatch featured a very strange dream, which I'll tell you about soon. But totally family friendly, as this show always is. So you're very, very welcome to watch with your families, and we applaud you. In fact, we have a family about to come on, which is going to be super exciting. Stephen Frey, hello to you. Luke API, hello to you. Lady Aptitude, everyone's in the place. Absolutely fantastic. And not only that, Mrs. Wiggly is in the place, because Lula May isn't in the place, unfortunately. So hang on a second. Let me just double up these cameras for a second, see if we can make this work. Mrs. Wiggly, very much in focus. Ooh. Do you want to be on that one or this one? Probably this one is okay. This one. Yeah. All right. Here's some headphones. Sorry, it was a bit of a rush. Do you put them in there, please? There we go. As always, the talent for this show never quite turns up at the right time. Can you say something, Mrs. Wiggly? You say,
after that?
I can't hear you. Hold on a second.
Hello.
Hold your horses.
Hello.
That's number 9. Oh. 1 2 1 2. How weird. You can hear me, but you can't hear you. All right, we'll come back to that in a second. That's a bit weird. Hold on. Okay, one sec. Talk amongst yourselves, everybody in the chat, just for a moment while I try and work out what's going on. It wouldn't be us if there wasn't a problem. Let's pop that up. Try that then, Mrs. Wiggly.
Hello.
Oh my word, you could probably be heard all along. It was just us that couldn't hear you. Can everyone in the chat hear Mrs. Wiggly?
Can everybody hear?
Yeah, I'm going to switch over to this camera so that... There you go.
Yeah.
That looks a lot more like it. Okay. We can hear her.
Hi,
Brilliant.
everyone.
So, lovely Lula May has gone away. I can't tell you where because it's one of the quiz questions, but she's left the building and it feels really, really weird. It's just like it's the first time she's ever gone away, and she's away for like, I don't know, a week or something. It's really odd, really odd.
Very quiet.
So our wonderful guest is going to make up for it with his wonderful family, which is really cool. Anyway, we'll get back to that in a minute. However, the good thing is she has recorded a bunch of questions ready for the quiz, so she will be here in spirit. So what I'm going to do is, I just need to grab that for a second, please, Mrs. Wiggly. Is bang this on, and I have another quick check on the chat, bring you up to date with everything that's been happening. Hello, Look API. Hello, Robert Fat Dust. Absolutely fabulous. There's loads of people watching today. Thank you so much. If you're new, or if you're listening after the event, you're not actually live, do try and catch us on Sundays at 7 p.m. right here on the Mr. Wiggly YouTube channel. If you just Google Mr. Wiggly YouTube, you'll find us. I know lots of people in Australia and that kind of stuff listening. The time zones are all wrong, so thank you so much for joining us, and I'll do my best to give verbal descriptions of everything that happens if you're not actually watching on video. The subscriptions are shooting up, which is fab. If you're not subscribed and you fancy it, hit the subscribe button or like the video. It's always good for us. There is some more content coming in the next couple of weeks with proper recorded videos about proper music kit, which is going to be kind of weird, but indeed. Two huge things happening. Well, one huge thing happened. Hardware Jams Festival just occurred, which was 3 days of fabulous, wonderful live hardware jamming with just incredible kind of performances throughout, very varied, loads and loads of different things going on. I did one. Our guest is Mr. Sebastian Smith, Sebtic Smile to his musical friends, and he did epic stuff, but he's very involved on the hardware jams front. He's come in to talk about that a little bit, and his life as a TV director and his life as a family man. We're going to find out all about him from his son. I'm sure we can ask his son the questions that really count about what his dad's really like. So that's worth talking about. The lineup for Clownfest has been announced at Clownfest 9, I think. Go and check out clownfest.live for information on all that. That's going to be cool. Obviously, Mrs. Wiggly's in the place, so without further ado, I think it's probably time that we brought in our amazing guest. And here's a wonderfully amazing son. Hello to you, Sebastian
Hello.
Smith. Hi, good to meet you. Good to see you.
Hi guys. Hi Sebastian.
Sebastian or
Hi.
Seb?
Seb is fine. Yes, Seb is good.
Cool.
And this is young Tate. Yeah.
Tate, absolutely brilliant to meet you. Thank you so much for coming on stream. We really need you as part of the quiz as well. I'm going to add a staring competition into the quiz. Thank you I did pre-warn you guys. Oh, Kent Spong, thank you so much. Dom is much taller in real life than you think. Well, this is true. Thank you, Kent Spong. £50 donation, which is just
Was he wearing
incredible.
his platforms?
I've decided that actually everyone thinks I'm really short, so what I can do is I can do the stream just like this and everyone will think I'm actually much taller than. Don't think I can get away with it really.
Well, I'm actually quite short, so if I did stand next to you then.
Kent Spong, let's just show the epicness that is Kent Spong. We did record with a wonderful actress from Benidorm, Chrissy Rock. Let's have a look. Let's just try. There's a 1 minute one. Let's do the 1 minute Chrissy Rock one. You go.
Hiya, this is a message to Kent. This is Chrissy Rock here, award-winning actress and comedian from TV Benidorm. You wouldn't think so, would you? Just got the shower, but never mind. So, I hope you're well. I'm here to ask you a big question that's on everyone's lips, okay? Kent Spong can tell me what's wrong. Is that some sort of Da Vinci Code message? It says, good luck with your career in synthesizer repair. I hope that means that. Lots of love. Have a fabulous day. Tra. From Mr. Wiggly and me, Chrissy Rock. Love ya.
So good luck to you in your synthesizer repair career, Mr. Kent Spong. If you don't know who Kent Spong is, he he basically repairs everything. If you buy one of those hugely, horrendously expensive old school vintage keyboards like a CS80 for thousands and thousands of pounds, Kent is the one that you'd send it to repair. And he's amazing. But he has just literally given us £50 towards Great Ormond Street with a super chat. Thank you so much. This is not the first time it's happened. In fact, it's probably about the 50th time that Kent Spong has done this. So thank you very, very much indeed. That fires off the horn, which blows all our ears off. And what can I say? However, Wagyu as well, thank you very, very much indeed for the 10 Swiss franc super sticker as well. That is awesome. Last week we raised over £120. I didn't put the video together this time, but over £120 for Great Ormond Street, which brings the grand total to £6,280. Which is $7,650 US, $7,650, which has been raised since October for Great Ormond Street, which is a fabulous children's charity. If you would like to donate, this is really because of Lula May's quiz and she wanted to raise money for them. Do feel free to fire off a super chat or go to mrwiggly.co.uk/gosh, GOSH, Golf Oscar Sierra Hotel for Great Ormond Street Hospital. If you do donate via YouTube, we make up the difference. So, you know, YouTube takes some money out of it, but all the actual amount goes to Great Ormond Street. I've got a squeaky microphone, haven't I? Well, so there you go. So anyway, back without further ado to our wonderful guests. We got Mrs. Wiggly, who looks like she's running the space shuttle, which is kind of cool, actually. I quite like this. and the wonderful Seb and Tate. So we're going to do the quiz a little bit later on with some pre-recorded questions from the lovely Lula May. But I suppose really what we should do is just try and find out the real story from Tate, which is, you know, what's your dad really like? Dum, dum, dum. Saved by the horn, you lucky man. Old Lord Frazzle, thank you so much for the 2222. That's brilliant. Thank you. That's about 20 GBP, which is absolutely wonderful.
Amazing.
I mean, so much money.
You were just trying to work out the finest adjectives for your amazing father. I've got some. There's amazing, wonderful, brilliant, talented, gifted.
There's lots of no's.
Hilarious. Any of these things?
He thinks he's funny, but he's not.
I get that a lot as well.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, yeah. I know somebody that is a bit like that.
Yeah, the jokes wear thin sometimes. You wouldn't be the first one to have said that.
It's dad perks. You've got to have dad jokes. That's how it works. Everyone knows that.
There was a joke about a dad joke. I have to think about it. I had one lined up. Oh, no, that's bad. I can't even think of it myself. Do you get involved on the music side much, Tate, with your dad and playing and stuff, or do you let him get on with it?
Most of the time he does it by himself, but one video I did do it with him in the woods.
That's the video you sent me. Is it, Seb, I think? If you don't mind, we'll play that a bit later, if that's okay, because I had a quick look at it. It sounded brilliant. It sounded really,
and it
was
was quite exciting because that was part of a competition run by Sonicware, where they wanted their wares out in the wild, and they had an outdoor liven competition.
Oh, nice!
And we didn't win, but we got a prize of a T-shirt.
Oh, fantastic!
And the kind-hearted man that I am, I said we could have
as it should be.
Small one
as it should
for
be.
the
Round of applause for the winners there. Fantastic. So, Seb, tell us a little bit. We'll do the quiz in about 10 minutes, but tell us a little bit about what got you into the whole music thing, because you've had quite an interesting career. You are a TV director, I believe, with music on the side. Is it in that order? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a very musical family, and it was more of a chore initially. Like, you know, you will learn to play the piano and you will learn to play the cello. And I went to I was a chorister in Salisbury Cathedral.
Oh, wow.
Utterly horrific experience. I don't recommend it. Although it's quite good. Sometimes when this one says, I can't do that, I say, well, you know, when I was 9, I was at boarding school on my own.
Wow.
You know, making my own dinners and whatever. So it teaches you the value of passing on suffering. That kind of, you know, you haven't suffered. I know suffering. But yeah, I kind of, gave that up in my teenagers years. I found those Top of the Pops.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that. A bit of smash hits, and eventually, very quickly, went from pop music to metal, and picked up an electric guitar. Initially, I was very confused. I saved up money for electric guitar, really wanting to sound like, Metallica, and plugged it in. It just sounds like The Shadows. I don't understand why. I was baffled. I thought maybe I just thought it was witchcraft, or maybe there was something else. It took me ages to figure out how to actually make a metal sound. But yeah, so then I was in metal bands through the early 90s and stuff, and I liked electronic music. I mean, I loved the Pet Shop Boys and sort of Depeche Mode and things like that. And I remember sort of enjoying them, but then very quickly preferring Metallica and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And so then I was just kind of metalhead. And my own experience of like electronic music would be like if we'd gone out to the pub or something, and then let's go to a club, and you go in somewhere and it's just
yeah,
I'm like, kill me, I hate it. So it wasn't until later on really when I started getting more into film music, and which I sort of enjoyed the synthesizer soundtracks from horror movies and things like that. And then actually was directing something, and I needed a song, and ended up writing my own song for it. And that kind of got me into making electronic music, just because it was easier. I needed sort of keys.
Right. So what did you use back then? And kind of when would that have been roughly?
So that would have been not that long ago, like maybe 8 years ago, something like that. And I sort of just in Cubase, playing bits and bobs, and then found it very quickly quite frustrating, the being in the box kind of world. And I think it was something like my wife actually, very kindly, I think she regrets it now, but she bought me a Volca keys for my birthday, and I just loved it. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. It was so much fun. And then I was like, I just need a Korg monologue, and probably like a nice Waldorf strike bet to get those kind of classic 80s. That's
the gateway drag, isn't it? That's what gets.
And then before you knew it, I had like loads of these things, and I did a there's a Facebook group called, I think it's just Volca Group, and they had a Volca Jam challenge, and I sort of took part in that, and I really enjoyed seeing what other people did with these Volcas. It was really inspiring. And I really enjoyed doing that and listening to everyone else's. Like, oh, this is really cool. And I was like, well, that's that. I was like, but I enjoyed that. I want more of that. And then I think someone mentioned the Hardware Jams group, where they said, oh yeah, you should try this. They do that every weekend. I was like, really? So then I joined that group, and it was just like, wow, oh my god, there's so many synths that I need right
that's the trouble, isn't it?
And it's been a kind of slippery slope into
I mean, that's one of the reasons that we're chatting, which is obviously the Hardware Jams festival, 3-day festival that just occurred. If you guys were watching Jamie's show earlier, which runs before mine on YouTube, if you weren't, go check out Geosynth, because it's a really great stream with Jamie, far more followers than I have, which is really good. I mean, and rightly so. So that's worth a look. And they were talking about the same kind of thing. And the idea that you can go live with a bunch of musical kit, usually electronic drum machines or synthesizers or what have you, sequences, and just play. It's almost like watching a practice, if you like, but you've got an empty sheet in front of you, nothing in your mind, and then off you go, and you watch a jam, which is the opposite of every normal performance, really, where it's choreographed and perhaps you're playing the hits or perhaps you're playing predefined stuff. And it's really got some legs now, which is great. I mean, the Hardware Jams 3-day thing was, I can't remember how many people
we were blown
18,
away by how the response to that, because we thought, well, we do the weekly stream through on the Monday evening, And usually there's probably about kind of 30 people around about watch it. And we thought there'd be the same kind of thing, but it was, pretty much double that the whole time. And then since then, they've had loads of views and things. And it was just been, but for me, more than anything else, it was just the level of talent that everyone in the community had done with really short notice. It was sort of like Inky said, well, let's do a festival. And I was like, okay. And so, should we do it at the end of July? I was like, that's like a month or something. I'm not going to have time to do anything. And nobody else is. And like 70 people, a whole weekend. I was like, oh, really? But everyone, pulled out of the bag, and actually not just sort of, because the weekend challenges, literally the challenge is set on a Friday. By the end of, Monday lunchtime, you've got to have that done. Yeah. And most people just do it very, very quickly. And to hear some of the sets that these people have put together, 15-minute sets they were playing, it was just, it was so exciting to be a part of.
Absolutely.
And so diverse.
Absolutely. When Inky said, we need about 70 people, there's a spreadsheet, just put your name on the spreadsheet if you want to join. And 70 or 80, and they ran out of space, I know, because there were people saying, can I come on? And it was too busy. And I think maybe 1 or 2 out of that 70 ended up hitting some issues and couldn't join, but it was literally that much of a dropout. It was, incredible. And the beauty of that 15-minute format, which is kind of similar to the Clownfest stuff that we're involved with as well, which is 15-minute sets, is that you're going to get all sorts of crazy, wonderful, amazing, different musical genres. And if you hit something that isn't up your street, you're still going to watch, because it flips into the next one very quickly. 15 minutes is achievable. I've got to say, exactly as you, though, for so many people to put together 15-minute sets in what was probably about 10 days, perhaps, I think, is astonishingly well done, and really good to watch. Really, really good to watch. So are you part of the admin team, the mod team behind?
Yeah, there's sort of 5 or 6 of us that kind of deal with the day-to-day running, depending on just kind of, it's not sort of, there's no organization really, it's just sort of whoever's around at the time kind of thing. We kind of fall into natural roles a little bit. Inky's very much the kind of the lovely public-facing
company morale officer, I like to think.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole organization and the graphics and everything were all done by Rob Tully Rose, who's Rapture, who's a genius with graphic design. He's designed the logo, the Hardware Jams logo, and then he designed a special T-shirt for the festival and all the graphics that went with that. And actually then, worked putting a special OBS frame for it, and then actually just put the running orders together as well. And it was quite. So he's our kind of hero guy, and then of course there's Jonathan Cross who sort of started the Stream 3, which kind of grew from him, and then there's John Alchemy who and Gioli, Uncle Joe the Bear, and we all just kind of host challenges and all just take it in turns to do
fabulous
and things.
Fabulous. Well, John Alchemy's been a previous guest. Obviously, Ink is very much involved. She's been a previous guest, but she's basically kind of the common thread that runs through most of these. Everything seems to be semi-connected with streams like this one and Jamie's and ProSynth Network, and very definitely Piero the Acid Clown, who's in the chat at the moment, putting together Clown Fest and the URL. Everything's connected, and I keep saying that pretty soon 1 or 2 artists are going to pop their heads over the radar and actually achieve slightly more mainstream success, because the whole thing is growing, and the level of talent and creativity coming through. I'm not saying it was all rubbish at the beginning, but it's definitely a league ahead than it was over the last couple of years.
And I think that for me, that's what I love about being part of the group, is you see somebody who comes in, and that's kind of like, I feel like I was that person before, who comes in and they're not quite sure how it all works, and then the discipline of, if they get involved, the discipline of doing a jam every week. You see people suddenly are like, wait, what? That's the same guy that was doing these kind of simple things, and are now somehow doing huge, amazing sets. It's great. It's really motivating to kind of learn. I'm learning all the time from everyone.
Keeps you on your toes. Keeps you on your toes. And I keep saying forces you to finish something. I mean, I'm the worst at. And gives you an idea, because you sort of get your stuff and turn it all on and go, right, I'm going to do a jam. You kind of like.
on what? Whereas you say you have to do a jam about this, then you're already kind of, okay, how can I do that? And you've got a deadline.
Absolutely.
So,
and Grace Griffiths, a mutual support and encouragement that makes the hardware jam screw go. Absolutely. And people like Grace Griffin, there's a lot of people like I've never met outside of the internet, but B, I would never have met. Was it not through this thing? And the support and the positivity, I think, is the key. It always comes back to the fact no one's sitting there going, do you know what, that was rubbish. Don't like that at all. Everyone is like, well, I like that bit, or this is really growing, or this, I love that. So the whole thing is kind of self-supporting, which is absolutely superb. Just the attitude that we need.
So you can join in soon. You do your own ones.
Well, exactly. I was going to say we have the video with Tate lined up to come after the quiz. Plus potentially another 2 with you with a Rolly Seaboard by the sea, which I like the link there, and another really great jam video as well. So there's about 3 different ones to choose from. However, it might be worth. It feels so weird without Lula May being here, but I guess it might be worth going with the quiz as we stand. Okay, so we need you, Tate, on this one. This, if you've never watched before, normally at this point in time, Lula May would be here asking these questions that she's come up with. She's come up with them and videoed them for us, but they are 10-year-old Lula May style questions along the lines of what's the best Disney princess or those kind of things. So they're hopefully not really Googleable answers, and you will be much more in tune, I think.
I'm relying on you, Tate, to get the answers.
And thank you again, Tate, for doing all of this. I bet you're good at the staring competition as well. Anyway, okay. So everyone in the chat, don't just... Oh, here we go again. Don't just sort by featured chat, best of chat. Make sure you're looking at all chat. There are 2 settings. And feel free to enter in the chat. There are no prizes. And bear in mind that your chats reach us later and sometimes in a different order than they look to you. Please start eating the microphone.
That's
Mrs.
what I was trying to do.
Waggo also said earlier that he knew your height to the millimetre, but he wasn't sure about Lula May.
I saw that. How? It's never been mentioned.
If you're not an avid viewer, Waggo basically wins everything, particularly the kind of what did you have for lunch type questions that makes us think that he has some kind of hidden camera or something going on. It's absolutely spooky. However, we will see. Yeah, Wagyu wins again, as usual. All right, so yeah, feel free to enter. No prizes. It's all a bit of fun. If you want to donate some money afterwards for Great Ormond Street, as has already happened, it's astonishingly brilliant. Thank you so much. You would be very, very welcome. Hopefully, I've got all of the buttons that I need to press. So eyes down. Ready, Mrs. Wiggly?
Yeah.
Lula May's not ready, but there we go. Here we go.
Where will I be when you see this?
That was our puppy. There's an outtakes afterwards. Okay, Lula May's away. Can you think where she might be? She's gone for a week. The clothing may give it away.
Close.
I'll run it again just so that you can see.
Where will I be when you see this?
Noisy dog. Any ideas, Tate? Any ideas, Seb?
Do we mean like where geographically?
Oh no, sorry, it's a thing. It's a thing. She's gone to. Oh, I think someone's got it.
There's quite a few.
Badminton.
But no,
definitely badminton.
I can
She's gone
see.
to play badminton. Sure.
It does look like it. Grace, did anyone before Grace?
Yeah.
Grace got it. Guides camp.
We have
Guides camp.
Wagyu Sins.
Oh no, so many.
God, there's quite a
So
few.
many.
I think you probably was mentioned last week. There's too many.
Oh, well, that's good because you get an advantage if you were last week. So who was first? Can we see?
I think, to be honest, I think it was Wagyu.
Oh, well done, Wagyu. Of course it's Wagyu. Okay, let's try. This one should be slightly harder. Yeah, this one's definitely harder. So All right, stand by. Question number 2 coming up.
Who have I gone with?
Who's she gone with? Best friend's name. Well, a friend's name.
Think of a girl's name. Take it quick.
Oh, Bella.
No.
Rosie.
Good thinking, not quite. It's not Amelia or Jennifer or Poppy or Elle. You see, Wagyu
It
has
is a
just
girl's
named
name.
the 3 best friends of Luna May, which is spooky. None of those though, because we knew you would be
No,
on.
I don't think she's been mentioned before, Wagyu.
Lily.
No.
Oh my god.
It has an I in it though.
Oh, Sasquatch.
Isabel.
Sasquatch has got it.
Tate, did you say Isabel? Did you say Isabel? Did I hear you say Isabel?
I think so. I think
it?
it's
I might just give them. I think I'll give them a point for Isabel because
Just
her
in
name
case.
is Isabel and it's Isabella.
To be fair,
And they
Tate's
call
been
her
very
Izzy.
honest, and we should give him a point for honesty.
Yes.
Rather than a
Seb
point for
Tate have got
Isabel.
a point for honesty.
Good call. Good call. Okay, so you're back. So it sounds like we got 3 people.
Yeah,
What's the scores
we've
on the
got
doors,
Wagyu
Mrs.
1,
Wiggly?
Sasquatch 1 and Seb and Tate 1.
Okay, question 3. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, this
How many hazels are in this picture?
Okay, this is a picture round. I'm going to pop up a picture with some hazels, which is our puppy, for a short period of time. And you have to tell me how many there are. That's the magic number, Mrs. Wiggly. Are you ready? Okay, let me just find that picture. How many hazels? Where is it? Oh, dear. Tra-la-la-la.
Count.
Yeah, just get ready. Oh, I've got it. All right, you ready? Steady. In the back of this picture are some hazelnuts. I'm not being clever. You don't have to count the nuts. All right, just to say, because sometimes we do trick questions. It really is how many puppies. Here we go.
How many? Oh.
How did you get on?
Grace,
Is it
close?
Is it around 40?
Around 30.
Oh,
Lower,
no.
lower, lower,
Okay.
lower,
Lower.
lower.
I think 20, 23.
No, just a tiny bit lower.
One lower.
Oh.
One bit. What's one lower?
29?
Yeah.
39, did you say?
I said 29.
High, lower than 40.
Oh.
Just by 1.
31.
No! No! I thought you had it there.
What's 40 minus 1? What's that? 40
39.
Hard next level maths.
Oh, that's really good. Sorry. Next level button pushing in this place. Someone got it just
Grace
about the same time
Grace
as you as
Griffin
well.
was the
Grace
first
Griffin.
one to actually get it
Well
on
done. So a
the
point
chat.
to Tate and a
So,
point, and
yeah,
Seb, obviously,
Grace.
because they're sharing points. Although Seb would appear on the trophy if we had a trophy. And 1 to Grace Griffin. Well done, Grace.
Well done, Grace.
We have a few more questions. Oh, I forgot this one.
Quite hard.
It is quite hard, isn't it?
Express
We were
way.
going to play Carrot in a Box. We might have to wait for that one. Because I don't have a carrot and I forgot to get the boxes. So we'll come back to that in a moment. You were going to love that. Never mind, Mrs. Wiggly. Another time.
Carrot in the box.
Yeah, you have 2 boxes, and in one is a carrot, and one person can look in their box, but the other person can't, and you can swap boxes, and you have to end up with a carrot.
No.
It sounds a lot, but I haven't got the carrots and I haven't got the boxes, so maybe
dear.
after this. I've got it on my to-do list, though,
Maybe
if that
next
helps.
week.
All right, okay. Gosh, the organisation that goes into this. So I guess if we jump to question 5, would it
What's the worst type of cheese?
is the worst type of cheese?
Cheddar, Parmesan, red let stuff.
Good call. This man
All of
knows
them.
his cheese.
Oh.
Not all of
Feta?
them. You don't know how close you are with that, though, actually. Not feta.
The worst for me has to be the processed burger cheese. I disagree.
No. No, when you said all of them, that was uncanny. It's not all of them.
I can't think of any more cheeses.
Wagyu says toe cheese.
Oh,
This is absolutely horrible. Goat's cheese, Limburger from Synthetic, Gorgonzola, mozzarella, is that a cheese from Taylor Harrison? Emanthalia?
Oh, Grace Griffin.
Grace Griffin again.
Carla said no cheese.
Well, that's it, yeah.
That's it.
Grace Griffin, no cheese is
Yeah.
actually the correct answer. And I can show you it's the correct
No cheeses are bad, they're all good.
Cheeses are bad, they're all good, apparently, according to Lula May. See, when you said all cheeses, I was like, oh, if you'd just said the opposite, you'd have been there. So great.
Let's see.
What are these-
They're very different people, it seems.
Yeah, oh, yes. Yeah, could be. What are the scores on the doors, please,
Right,
Mrs. Wiggly?
so in the lead, we've got Grace Griffin with 2. Oh, actually, no, a tie between Sebtic and Tate, tying with Grace Griffin at 2, and then Sasquatch has got 1, and Wagyu's got 1. So, is there any more
There's a
questions?
Rubik's Cube. Yeah, you're going to have to grab a Rubik's Cube, a carrot, and 2 boxes after this. There's one more question and a joke, but there's also a how quickly can Daddy do a Rubik's Cube, and I left a Rubik's Cube downstairs. So if you're going down, you could get a carrot and 2 boxes as well, or glasses.
Seriously?
Okay, there is.
I'll get the Rubik's Cube.
Okay, well, there's one more question before then,
Okay.
and then yeah, maybe the carrot's not going to work.
No.
Okay, here we go.
What's my favourite bird?
Hey, what's Lula May's favourite bird?
Seagull, black-headed gull, albatross.
Oh, very close. I mean, I know there was a lot involved in that
Swan,
one,
penguin.
no. Black-headed. Go with the black-headed.
Oh, Wagyu.
Oh, he hasn't got it, has he?
Yeah.
Oh, Wagyu got it.
Wagyu!
Unbelievable.
Crow.
Oh, my.
Crow.
Kind of weird.
Crow.
It's like one of your haunted episodes of TV. Amazing, absolutely amazing. So we can't. Oh well, there's a joke. I think but I didn't ask Lula May to do the joke, so.
No, we just need one more question to see if we can get a winner, because there's three tying.
Okay.
So maybe you could just ask a question.
All right. What is the least spoken language in the world?
Oh.
You keep track of that one.
Is it something beginning with B? I don't remember the name.
No, it begins with S for sugar.
Samach.
Oh, rabid bat. Well done. Sign language. What's a kangaroo's favourite kind of music?
Hip hop.
Yes!
Oh, wow. Yeah. We'll kill it there because Seb and Tate have won the quiz.
Huge round of
Points.
applause
Well
for Tate
done.
and Seb, particularly for Tate.
Well done, Tate. Awesome.
Amazing. We'll save the Rubik's Cube challenge till next week.
Next time.
And the carrot
And the carrots.
leave them wanting more. Synthetic is moaning. He says that Sanskrit is a more rare dead language. I think we'll stand by what Lula May said for now. huge thanks to you. Well done. Huge love going on in the chat as well to you guys. So the final scores, please, Mrs. Wiggly.
So we have Tate and Seb with 3 points.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
They are the winners this week. Woohoo! We've got Grace Griffin at 2, Wagyu 2, Rabbit. Is it Rabbit Bat?
Rabbit Bat,
1,
yes.
and Sasquatch with 1.
So how many did Wagyu get then?
Wagyu got 2.
Oh, it's close. It's close.
But,
yeah.
but a freaky 2.
Scary. Scary too. Okay, I think I has one. Oh, I know. What does IDK stand for in slang? In sort of text speak, any ideas? IDK?
I don't know.
No, I don't know either. What do you reckon?
Oh, and this is worse than the dad joke.
I could have kept that going for ages, couldn't I, really?
Tate, you can do. You've got loads of terrible jokes. I'm sure you can think of it.
No.
Not on the spur of the moment. Maybe you're very welcome. You're very, very welcome to do any of them if you wish. While you have a think, if there are any... Oh, bad jokes. Says Pierre the Acid Clown. If there are any questions for Seb, including for his illustrious TV and film career... Oh, you heard it as IGK, said Wagyu, otherwise he'd have got it straight away. Then please stick them in the chat with a QQ beforehand, and hopefully that makes it easier to see them and pull them out. But I believe on the TV front, you've kind of been involved in paranormal activity type shows. Is it more horror-oriented stuff?
There was a run of a fantastic show called Paranormal Witness, which I've done a few of. I usually try and rope the children into. I think that sort of finished when Tate was quite young.
I was wondering if I could audition.
My eldest has been in sort of a few of those. She had to draw a picture. Oh yeah, that's quite
Mrs.
scary.
Wiggly and me. I could be that
I think you've got there's Acid Clown rivalry to be had there for sure.
If you ever need an extra, I'm much more scary than Mark, I think. But so paranormal.
I started off as an editor, and that was one of the programs I edited, and then went on to direct. And it's actually it was weird. The last time I was in the States, just in border control, they saw the company I've been working for, the border guard, which is always quite a stressful experience going through border control because you're always worried they will just say, "Get out."
Yeah, of course.
And he said, do you do Paranormal Witness? I love that show. Oh, my God. Well, he said, "Oh, my God, I love that show. Is it all real?" I was like, "Oh, yes, it's very real."
Okay.
Shame that went away.
Fantastic.
And I went, "Look behind you." And then I ran.
That's phenomenal. That's brilliant. Just setting up to share a screen here so we can show your awesome jam. Actually, probably the first one would be the Tate, the one with Tate. Yes, your winning one, which we'll run this up. Hopefully, 1 second. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this. I wanted to make sure it was turned up.
It's lengthening of the arm.
Which is just epic and deservedly a winning stream, I think, which was amazing, absolutely amazing. Let me flip over to this other jam that you put together. Really brilliant stuff.
I like it. It does sound like I Was Made for Loving You. That a lot of people have picked up with that.
There's a few people in the
Kiss,
that's fine.
Kiss Reborn. Yeah.
Hang on, is that the one we just had? This is the tape
Yeah.
jam. Yeah, sorry. So let's have this one for a second. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we get a copyright strike on this. This has got a great video to it. Mrs. Wiggly's going to drop out, I think, and head off. So just 1 second, if we pause this wonderful moment.
Bye, guys. I need to go and see what the hound's up to. So
Very nice.
take care. Nice to meet you guys. Have a good Sunday. Bye.
Next week it'll be the join in for the carrot in a box.
Yes.
Mrs. Wiggly
let's
versus Mr. Wiggly
try
carrot in a box challenge.
that.
I can see you're really into that one.
Yeah.
See you
See
later.
how many carrots I've got in my fridge.
Okay, so here we go. Let's take a moment to have a listen to this, and then we'll get back and we'll talk about some music stuff directly with Seb. So here we go.
Yeah.
My goodness me, that was incredible. Just amazing. Well, I mean, just pause that for a second. Really, really good. Really, both of those. I mean, a fantastic joint jam. There's another one. Maybe we'll play out on the other one, sitting next to the sea with a rolly seaboard, which is worth mentioning as well in a second. But wow, that is just absolutely brilliant, and loads of love in the chat whilst that was coming out. So,
that was fun.
One of the things.
Tate, are you going to? Sorry, Tate. Do you want to? Bedtime now for you, I think, young man.
We probably won't do any kind of interesting stuff apart from talk about your dad's music, to be honest. So you won't be missing out on much. But thank you so much for coming on the show. Good night. Big love in the chat, please, for the wonderful Tate. Thank you very, very much indeed, sir. What a wonderful man! That's so brilliant, and what a talent as well on your joint jam. I mean, 10 years old, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
He's joined. He's forgotten. He's joined in a couple of them. But yeah, I don't. Having been through the whole kind of you must learn. He is learning the piano, and he kind of like sometimes wants to practice, sometimes he doesn't. But I haven't been pushy, and I didn't push my daughter at all. And now she doesn't learn an instrument. And it's kind of, where do you have that kind of line where you've kind of pushed them enough, because it's like you've got to try to learn something and it doesn't come immediately, that the knowledge that when you work at something it gets better and then you get the reward.
It's really hard, isn't it?
Tricky. So I didn't want to put them off, you know what I mean? And I kind of got into music later. Loads of people do, so who knows? But yeah, it is
hard.
So hopefully I'll see him jamming.
Richard Hilton, the amazing amazing friend of the show, keyboard player with Chic, came on, and Lula May asked him for advice about learning piano because she plays piano, and she's grade 2. And he said, just forgive yourself. You won't get good at it straight away. Forgive yourself for your mistakes and stick with it, because it really does take a little bit of time. And you do get to a moment where you put your hands down and they kind of naturally play stuff. But that's the best advice. It is hard. I don't make Lula May practice, I practice with her and you make it exciting. And she certainly... From Lula May's perspective, she doesn't like not being able to play something, and then she loves it when she's worked it out. Do you know what I mean? It is difficult. It is difficult. Yeah. There's so much other stuff going on as well. But I'm very pleased that my mum was quite into getting me to do my practice and stuff, and I'm really pleased she did in the end, because it gave me a career. And there were plenty of times when I didn't really want to do it, but it was fun enough, and I think I managed to kind of get enough of the feedback, to be able to sit down and play something on a piano is kind of cool. It certainly was back then, especially if you're a child, I think. So that helps. But yeah, it is really hard. Ultimately, what you don't want is to have someone not forced, but coerced into practicing, and then they give up anyway, and they've lost a huge chunk of their childhood, and they weren't really into it in the first place. So Lula May's signed up for drum lessons next term.
Oh, cool!
Which is going to be kind of good. And she said that there's no girls doing drums, so I'm going to do some drums, which is like okay,
nice.
Okay, so that's good. So I thought that'll be all right, because we can get some practice pads, and then everyone in the chat was saying that the pads aren't the same because
you must have a real drum kit really loud to annoy everybody in the house. That's the whole
6 o'clock in the morning. Exactly. Hello to Movement 81, the wonderful Movement 81, who are spot on with the live jam stuff as well. They've just joined the chat. I'm a fanboy for them as well, which is really, really cool. However, back in the real world, the animations are incredible. The music was incredible there. The whole thing was amazing. And then Inky posted the thing saying you did it all in a weekend. Is that right?
I did other things as well. I mean, I went out and
wow, in less than a weekend.
Things like that. It wasn't like the whole weekend. It did take quite a little while. But yeah, that was there was a fun little challenge that had sort of went for maybe 3 or 4 weekends, where it was a story that developed the following week, and it was some mad thing about an old guy leads you down into a basement somewhere. It sounded very dodgy, but then revealed this strange machine, and I kind of drew a little I might do a little animation for that, and I did a little animation for that one, And then the story followed on where it says you go into the machine and it takes you to a planet, and then you have to perform a banger for the alien race there or something.
Right.
So I kind of had some of the ship was already drawn, so I just animated that. But then then I thought, oh, how can we do this? But yeah, it did take quite a while. Drawing them and then scanning them in and then moving them around using After Effects.
There was a question in the chat about where they how you put together the animation, and I starred it, but I think it was Cresshead that was asking it. So that was After Effects. Is it like kind of stop frame kind of animation?
Yeah, pretty much. Like you're just putting keyframes, so the hand is there and then it's there and it does the in-between kind of thing. But it's very dull and tedious, and I haven't done one like that for a little while.
Amazing,
I was quite inspired.
Yeah. It's really amazing. It's really amazing. And was art something you wanted to pursue as well at school and thereafter?
Yeah, do you know what? I did A-level art. Didn't do very well, but then I went to art college. It was a really good one in Bournemouth. Very well respected art foundation course, and I chose the wrong option, and it was just kind of crushed out of me.
Oh no!
They just didn't like the style I did, and I was just like, gosh, whatever. But it was great because I wanted initially to go to do a audio-visual course, and I was able to go from the art foundation into I think they took pity on me and put me into the audio-visual course. And that was great because then I learned that I was making films, and actually I also did a little bit of music there on some ye olde Mac thing, and I think there was a sequencer and I don't know. They had a recording studio and things, so I did sort of made a bit of music for student films and stuff there. In fact, then I kind of after finishing that course, I had to decide whether to pursue kind of directing or music.
Right. Yeah, I guess so.
And I sort of applied to a few different courses and ended up, in fact, I got like a second interview at Salford doing music production. Again, it's like a really good course, but I was down south and I missed the train, and I was just like,
oh my word.
Can't be asked. So I'm going to miss it. It's like a 6-hour journey to get up to. It's a ridiculous northern place, for heaven's sake. So yeah, I
that's
didn't do
a
that.
real
And I ended up going
sliding doors moment, isn't it? Though
but yeah, it's quite. I do sometimes think about how that one thing, and you just think, oh, I get it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what got you into the TV career? Because that's a hard thing to get into as well. I mean, you've got art, music, and TV, none of which most people would succeed at. To be fair.
Yeah, I did a course in Wales, in Newport. It is where I get my excellent Welsh accent that I like to mock Movement 81 with.
Listen,
and
Inky's Queen of Wales.
Yes, I heard she's Queen of Wales, which is important. They need a queen. And that was a terrible course, though. But I just made films with some friends, and after that we moved to London, and we tried to we were so naive, go, oh yeah, I'm going to start my own business making pop videos and stuff. It's going to be amazing. And that didn't really pan out.
Right.
I, in fact, interestingly, got a job managing a cheese shop, which Lula May would be really happy because I had all the cheese, like the best amount of cheese ever.
Wow.
And then did graphic design, and then just somehow, my wife actually worked for a TV production company, and I blagged a reference from her on the kind of company note paper for another job with a different company.
Nice.
And
Smooth.
blagged my way in, and then it was okay though, because basically the first day I had to set up like 20 edit suites, and I don't really know how I did it, but
wow,
because there was no internet. How do you set up?
Yeah, of course.
I was just like, yeah, and it kind of
great
worked,
blag as well. And of course, then you had to start using them all and testing them and getting work, and that kicked it all off, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, and then the music's been just a really nice thing that's come back over the last kind of, I'd say like last sort of 6-7 years, something like that, really. And my happiest moments now is if I get to put one of my tracks in something I'm working on, which everyone hates. It's a real pain in the ass for a production company to get a track that isn't from like a recognized library music or
what, because of the rights
or something like that.
The hassle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, we've got to actually do a contract.
Yeah,
so it's fine, just sign it. But yeah, like last couple of every 3 months, I get sort of enough for an Indian takeaway.
Cool.
It's like, yes, come on. It's like, weirdly, like I get way more excited about getting money. I saw something where a track of mine had been used in something like it was called When Luxury Cruises Go Wrong, which is just I managed to get a few tracks actually on a library album, and that was used for one of those, and it was, oh my god, this is exciting.
Fantastic.
I'll get like £1. It's like the best pound ever. It's like,
doesn't matter. You created something that someone's listened to and gone, do you know what, that's perfect for my ferry disaster or whatever it might happen to be. Wow. My word. Okay, so questions very much appreciated in the chat. Stick a Q or a QQ in front of them. It was Sasquatch, the amazing Sasquatch, who asked about the animation, and basically you did cover it, but you're effectively drawing this stuff on paper.
Just on paper, and then taking a picture of my phone, cutting it out in Photoshop, and then bringing it into After Effects and moving it around.
Perfect.
It's
which does remind me also of this dream that I had last night, which was the weirdest dream. And I'd say, I don't know what Sasquatch looks like, because he never puts a profile picture on. He puts a picture of a Sasquatch. Somehow, Sasquatch approached me, and he was quite a Sasquatchy kind of guy, big, like a rugby player, kind of, quite large, intimidating kind of person. And he approached me to join an elite group of hackers, like MI5, but for hacking, which is weird enough to start with. He then took me to an office where there was a couple of old friends. Inky was there as well. And it turned out that quite a few of the people I know were all in on this elite group of hackers. And I was the last to know, but they'd finally decided to invite me. Then we all went out for a sandwich for lunch. And I blew it because I said to the woman that happened to be making the sandwich, "Oh, I'm in an elite group of hackers now." And they kicked me out of the group. And that was my dream. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. So I think I know what Sasquatch looks like.
You need to learn, the delicate art of diplomacy and discretion when you're in an elite group of hackers.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, just got the job. We're working on the dark web. Sandwich shop. The most bizarre thing. So it's going to be really strange if I do finally meet Sasquatch, and it does look like the Sasquatch that I met in my dream. Really odd. Really, really odd. Anyway, we have a proper question from Magic Box Studio. I say it's a proper question. He says, does Seb have any comment on the music and computer voice from Dark Star?
That's a classic John Carpenter film. But, shockingly, it's not one of my favourite Carpenter films. And I, off the top of my head, can't remember the music or the computer voice.
Well, that says it all, really.
Star. I feel full of shame. John Carpenter's been... I went to see him play live. I guess I always think, it's a few years ago. It was actually probably like it was before COVID, like ages ago. But just being absolutely astonished when he's playing, and behind him has just like the visuals that you could only dream of, and then you go, oh my god, he did that as well, of course. Yeah. And then just another thing, oh my god, and that, like literally the most talented, underrated genius to meld film and music in such an incredible way. I came out of that really pumped up, going, that was such a good gig, oh my god.
And he was a guy that got you into it in the big time in the first
place. Yeah, totally. I mean, the music of Halloween particularly, and Escape from New York, Assault on Precinct 13, just sparse. That's what I really liked, is that there's that kind of sparse 80s vibe. But weirdly, actually, when I first watched the first season of Stranger Things, that actually was a big influence on sort of coming back to synthesizer music again. Do you remember there's a horror film called It Follows?
Yes, I do.
Which had a great score, and again, I was just sort of similar sort of time. I was just like, I like that. I want to do that. I like that.
I think Stranger Things has done it. Even the first series and stuff. That it was just so nice to hear thick analog, simple pulsing sounds. Do you know what I mean? And it obviously fitted with the whole genre that it was kind of that it existed in. But I did hear there's quite a lot out now about interviewing those guys that did it and stuff, and they because there's no recall, they kept having to rebuy stuff and track down stuff. They had a big modular setup that they used for one of the themes that just had to be left for like
I
so
saw
they could
that
come
too.
back.
Like, I can't touch that. That's the devil's
Exactly.
theme.
Still haven't signed it off. They still haven't. I'm sure that happens to you quite a lot, where you're just waiting for a sign off of something, not necessarily on the music front, but yeah, absolutely. I've got a few questions of my own coming, but there was a couple more that have bounced in, saying, well, obviously Magic Box says what kind of sandwich. I don't know. I was so distraught about my giving away my Spidem. What's your favourite vintage synth and modern synth and drum machines from Look API? His is a ARP 2500. Are you into vintage and modern? Are you into lots of small boxes?
I have a vintage synth. I have a Gen SX 1000.
Oh yes.
Which is I bought from some bloke in Hackney and carried it home on the train. I was very excited, and it was actually one of my first synths. It's very cool, but weirdly there was an electronic music open mic night thing in my town, and went down, and a guy had one. Sounded totally different to mine. Sounded really like the filter was like,
oh wow,
mine does that. Yeah, I was like, he said, "Oh yeah, mate, you need to get that all recapped. It's gonna be amazing." So, but I haven't. He said, "Take it, I'll sort it out for you." I haven't, but it's a fun little thing. But I don't really like. I love to fill my land with vintage synths, but I haven't. I do tend to just. I'm a bit shit at saving up for like a proper, what I'd call a proper synth. I'm sort of inherently quite tight. I think I have the couple of things that I've spent money on was the Deluge, which was a very extravagant purchase, but I needed something that was the kind of the brains behind it. It's fantastic. And the Lyra 8.
Oh, I didn't know you had one of those. Okay.
Yeah, which I love. So those two are the only ones I really. But then something comes along, and if it's between 100 and 150 quid, I find it very hard to resist. I'm like, I could just get. I should have end up like having loads of them, and I should just get rid of all those and then buy, something. I really like the sound of the Novation stuff. Actually, like the Peak and the Summit. I think they're great. But I just like having little things that I kind of can change and swap around. And my studio is always a complete mess. There's never anything. Every time I think I'm going to set it all up, and there might be one jam, I use everything. It's all really lovely laid out, and then the next time it's just cables and carnage. And I'm just like, I never.
It's crazy. I'm the same. Really I get it all set up, and then I go, right, now I'm going to make a video about this little piece of kit, which ends up me having to unplug everything and reroute everything, and it's all changed, even with a patch bay and stuff. But it's a good price point, isn't it? It's like the new. The little Roland boxes that have come out that I did my little jam on.
Yeah, I liked your jam that you did on those, things. And I've got the little E4 thing,
the vocal
thing. But yeah, I'm liking that T. The drum
T8.
machine.
If it had a ride cymbal, it would be. I mean, for doing that kind of dance-oriented 4/4 stuff. The 909 ride cymbal is a thing that kind of picks up the chorus, and it's missing, and that's like a first world problem, but it's the only thing that would make that a complete jam machine on its own, really, and even without that, there's sounds. Listening back to the jam I did, because I wasn't concentrating on what it sounded like that much. I was kind of concentrating on what bits were in it. It's like that. It sounds good. The kick drum's good on there. The snare cuts, the hi-hats are really working. You would be great. I mean, you could probably put it in a little modular case and have it there as a little drum machine on there. But so the Deluge is obviously well, to me it got me into making videos originally, which then led to this live show, really, because someone said, how can I do this on the Deluge, do some sampling, and I said I'll knock up a quick video, which ended up on YouTube, and then quite a few people have watched it, and still it gets a few thousand of views every month. From 4 or 5 years ago, it's got about 30,000 views or something. And I was a massive fan. I still am, although it's not getting used quite as much as it used to. But Huge fan of that, and it's like the ultimate small box, really, because it just drives I love the fact that it's limitless. You know, they don't say you've got 8 tracks. They say, well, you've got as many tracks as you want till it runs out of them. Yeah. You know, and it's such a tactile way. Interestingly, I tried the what's it called? They've got a tracker, a polyend play.
Yeah, I've seen that. That looks quite fun for performance.
Very much so. I tried that in Berlin, and it was very tactile and easy to play. I think it needs a little bit more work. I think at the moment they're only mono samples, which is not a huge deal, but would be nice if they weren't. So I think there's still some bit of MIDI work to go on it. So there's new firmware coming out, but it was very, very easy to play. So for people who like the Deluge as a controller, obviously it doesn't do the synths, doesn't do half the stuff that but if you want a sequencer controller, it would be kind of nice. So you've got the Lyra, you've got the Deluge. What other bits and pieces are driving your current system?
God, I've got all. Oh, I say all. I kind of got a little side Volca setup with the keys, the bass, the FM, and the beats. But I've also got a Volca kick, so that's the Volca's done with. Although every now and then I say, I like the Volca drum, that sounds good, and the Volca sample. People do amazing things with those. Oh, and the Volca modular. Anyways, those are the Volcas. Then I've got the Korg monologue, which I kind of I sort of forget about and then bring it back in and go, oh, it's great, so gnarly, and then forget again. And I've got the micro Korg, which every time I jam with that is just so much fun. It's really good. I've just seen Piero the Acid Clown saying, did I just say side Volca? Which is like the two,
it's like
two
side trance,
worst
yes.
things. I've got a side
Volca. We've developed a new side trance has become side trance as an in-joke, and so anyone that's doing side trance is instantly
ages
banned.
to understand what on earth any of that was saying.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
What other things is there? There's I had before the Deluge. I used a Zoom Arc as my kind of sequencer thing, which was quite fun, and it was a really good little groove box, but just slightly hampered by a few little firmware bugs, which they then obviously it was such a flop. They all went, that wasn't my idea. No, I'd like that's his idea. That was a terrible idea. And so it kind of just got so close, but it couldn't quite sustain. When I was like, I'm just gonna get a Deluge, but still, it's fun sampler, and it's got great little drum machines on. What else is there? Oh God, I don't know. There's all sorts of things. My most recent acquisition is the Soma Rote.
Rumble of Ancient Times,
which is great fun. For making gnarly noises.
Apparently so.
I've got a couple of monotron delays, which I use on pretty much everything, just because I really love that. The hiss. Yep. I love the hiss that they bring.
Rotten Circuits in the chat. I think he's still in the chat. That's Ray Malone from Canada, and he's a massive Soma fan as well, and he's just got his Roat. And has just been raving about it, just saying how wonderful it is. I've been involved with Soma recently, just helping them out in the UK on some stuff. It's the first time I've ever kind of nailed a flag to the post and said, okay, I'd like to work with you rather than be kind of completely independent. And they're just amazing. Stuff is incredible.
They're so cool. I saw a guy playing with the pipe.
Yes.
Like, oh man, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And the Pulsar is one day.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of
and the Terror as well that came out. The Terror is the thing that kicked me over the edge actually, which is the slab
really
of wood.
Cool. But there's the Ether as well. It's the Enna. The Enna that is the thing that they haven't. It hasn't really sort of been available. It's only sort of direct. And I like that. I love the tactile. Things to play with, and they do some. And that looks like it'll be loads of fun.
Yeah. You won that. Sorry, I just realised you won that.
No, Inky gets quite confused sometimes. Bless her. No, I didn't.
You didn't win it.
I didn't win that. I won. I did win an Ether, which I'm waiting for.
Oh, hence the conversation.
But no. In fact, what was great, Soma had a competition and I saw it and I was like, oh, we should put it in for our Hardware Jams Weekend Challenge. And so we put it as part of the challenge. And I think we ended up with quite a good percentage of jammers representing the overall contestants. Like it might have been like 5-1 or something like that. But yeah, we basically walked away with top prize was KGB Studios won the Road. And then myself, Whole Sound, Altered Beat. So a few of us, we all came runners up and got an ether, but none of us have received ours yet.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I know they're all.
I mean, if you want to have a word,
I'll give them a shout and say, "Wait a minute,
you know, the Hardware Jam's very confused. Where are our prizes? Where are our prizes?"
I think it's a challenge. Shipping is a challenge all around. Actually, there's some bits and pieces arrive here for to fix stuff or replacement stuff or whatever, and it just takes a while for it to all arrive through the shipping channels and whatever. But no, really, really good guy. I mean, I do think Vlad, in the nicest possible way, crazy inventor is in line to be talked of in the same caliber as some of the other kind of synth gurus of our time. I think if he keeps it up.
I think they're not treading the same path.
No, exactly.
And it's a whole new kind of what can we do? And I really like how he seems to be bringing in the physical.
Yes.
And that's part of the experience, and it's sort of something that also I love about the Lyra is I kind of come from thinking I want to play this, and you can't. You end up sort of it plays you kind of in a way, and you're kind of like, oh, okay, we'll go there.
Yeah, I want to see Lula May playing the Terror. If I finally get one, because it's a bit like watching children on iPads or whatever. It's very, very the simplistic and very easy to just do what they think, and I've only played it once in Berlin, but just it's almost like little brass knobs that the more you touch, the more they sound. So it's like a hard version of your keyboard, So it's just a much simpler way of doing it. But well, we'll see. Certainly if he keeps it up. Vlad, someone was saying, is it a Russian company? Yeah, Will Joseph was saying it's a Russian company. Vlad was born in Ukraine, actually, and he moved to Russia. And clearly, obviously, the Russian side of things is in a difficult state at the moment. But the stuff from Soma itself is manufactured in Poland. So it's kind of designed by a Russian designer and then brought through into the Polish side. But he was born in Ukraine, just so you know. What else is going on? So I guess future you in terms of music, in terms of kit that you like, I fully admire the lots of small things for Hardware Jams. I think it works really well. By the way, what are you going through a mixer, I presume, somewhere along to connect them all together? How are you actually getting the sound out of all these things?
Yeah, that's actually something I need to invest in. I've got a Tascam U1608 or some catchy thing. I think that's 16 ins, 8 outs interface. And then I've also got a Zoom L8 mixer interface thing, which is all quite good because it's battery power, so you can take that out and about. But it's part of my misery of unplugging things and plugging things back in again and stuff. I want to get something where I've just got everything plugged in, like possibly one of those Tascam 24 or whatever they are, mixer recorder type things. I like having a recorder where if I don't want to multi-track everything into the computer and I just want to jam without the computer, I can just hit record and it's all on individual stems, which I can then put in the computer later if I want to, or something like that. And so I think it's either the Zoom do like a bigger one and the Tascam one looks a bit nicer. But it's about $1,000 and I'm just like,
that's
not right now.
That's a lot of Volcas, isn't it?
Not now. Exactly. Right. That's what I said. But what's annoying about liking Volcas is that very much can be sort of. It's like when you say, oh yeah, someone's got to come and fix I've got my MOT. I'm like, everything is now in like that's a
Yeah.
Volca.
We should value stuff in
monotron
Volcas.
delay. Everything is divided into these. That's how I see everything now. Rather than
How is the Volca
it's
kick,
not
by the
right.
way? I've not actually. I should make an effort.
It's
to
lovely. It's a beast. Yeah. I haven't naughtily to say. I haven't used it for a little while just because it's my setup has been in disarray. But it's good. What I like about it is having a kick on its own. Is that you can then send it to a compressor very easily to do side chaining or whatever.
Yes, of course.
Which is quite good. Yeah. So it's a meaty thing. But yeah, I did get very, very frustrated with the whole 16-step limit on these Volcas. It is very rapidly quite annoying. But equally, that was really good when you just sort of want to jam.
Yep.
As someone's mentioned in the chat, John Alchemy, he does amazing stuff on his Volcas.
He's been a guest on the show as well quite a while back, and again this was just another one of those intros to hardware jams, which is like, where's that come from? It's a lot deeper than kind of 16 random buttons. Just really, really clever stuff. We should play another of your Seaboard video, I think, if you fancy it. And you can ponder the future. Where is where is Seb heading in the future? I'll give you a little bit of a time to ponder that one. Let's see if I can make this work. This is you with the Seaboard Rise by the Sea for full lovely continuity. Just amazing. I mean, someone's saying, is that someone walking past? Incredible. Incredible. What can I say? Yes, there's a load of questions off the back of that, most of which... Oh, hang on. I think I've got you muted. There you go. Most of which are along the lines of kind of what happens when someone walks past. So, in all your outdoors musical escapades, has the mask ever actually got you into real trouble or genuinely freaked out any passers-by, says Grace Griffin?
No, nobody said anything. I mean, no, they just kind of go...
Can the
walk on?
Could they hear the audio, or is this going on in your headphones?
That one... I think that one was in my headphones. Luckily,
so
it's like, but I think I have done ones without as well, which is I'm starting to do more now.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Wagger was saying, was that a drone that was filming?
No, so that was my love. Basically, I went. My mum lives in Dorset, and I took the kids down, and I remembered that this location. I remember this is a great cliff. It'd be great to do a jam. I think, and the theme of the weekend challenge, because you have to do a weekend challenge no matter where. You can't miss one.
Yeah. Like doing the lottery.
I was like, I've got to do one. Oh my god! And it was epic. I was like, oh, that's this great cliff top. It's gonna be amazing. But I thought you could just drive to it. I'm sure when I was a kid, you used to go drive to it. I was like, there's a road closed. I was like, I was probably just down there. I was talking about it was about 3 miles. I'm carrying all my stuff. Going, oh god, I'm gonna die. The two kids reluctantly carrying like a battery. That's me for my stuff. But yeah, so my daughter filmed the event.
Fantastic!
Just lurking it in the background. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's good. That's good. You kind of got the whole team going. That's brilliant. That's really cool. Inky is saying, ask him about Central Park. Did you do one in Central Park?
Oh yeah. So I went. I was over the beginning of the year. I was in New York for a few weeks filming, and took rather too many excess baggage worth of synthesizers with me. I was like, I'll just take a few things. But I think the thing is that during that time was actually Hardware Jams were doing a day for Clownfest.
Oh yeah, that was
done
huge.
My set.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to take enough stuff so I can do my set there. And so that ended up being quite a lot of stuff. But yeah, whilst I was there, I did a few jams. I did one in Central Park and a few other ones sort of out and about in New York, which was really good fun. And yeah,
that was quite amazing actually, because I think the clown, they had a complete day of Clownfest to Hardware Jams, and Hardware Jams were doing 15-minute stuff and lined up a huge amount of people to get.
I think it was 10. It was like 10 minutes, so it was like ridiculous. And poor Piero suddenly got sent when normally he gets 20 minutes, and he get like twice as many sets. It's just like. Oh, man, I've got to download all these and upload these.
I know. I mean, it's one thing to kind of coordinate that and stay on time, and pretty much the guys did. But then to make the jams available afterwards as individual videos, I think was just. But yeah, I pulled it off. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. Any more questions? Very, very welcome. We'll probably be winding up a little bit soon. I mean, I've got a couple of things to talk about, I think, more than anything, which is 11 hours, 60 artists, says Mark, which is insane.
Good, yeah, because we only had 70 for the Hardware Jams Festival, and that was 3 days. So it was a long old session. Yeah, it was great though.
Wow,
really good fun.
Wow.
So yeah, that kind of was we were like, we're born, we can do this. Come on,
wowie. And then
what I don't understand with Clownfest is that Piero does that, or Mark does that all on his own.
Yeah.
Like, there's 4 or 5 all getting involved with the Hardware Jams, and it's hard enough, It's, 6 of us, because we had 2 hosts for each weekend, so 6 hosts plus Inky then organising things as well. To do it all on your own, Mark is quite mad. He's quite mad. it was good fun.
No, I mean he is. I mean, what a thing though to put together. And with number 10, I think hopefully maybe number 10 will be in a proper field somewhere, which would be absolutely amazing. Thank you to the new moderators and admins and all the rest of it for clearing out that nasty bot trying to sell us his adult dating. I think what they do is they assume they can include links, and links are turned off here anyway, so it's completely pointless. But thank you for doing that. Piero was just saying Doghouse did a couple of days and was dead after the second day, so I can imagine. But no, I'm looking forward to the next one. I had a slightly more practical question, I think, which might be useful to many of the people kind of watching, which is how you go about getting your jams or your music onto TV. And is it a case of getting onto the library music? Is there any shortcuts you can think of? Is there any advice? I mean, when you're looking for music or you're working with people looking for music, is there a way that these things can be packaged or styled? Well,
it's really tricky, because I initially, like a few years ago when I was doing the Harbour Jams, I was getting, we were having all these great jams coming in, and I think we did one. It was drone, and it was like, these would be perfect for for TV music. I mean, they're absolutely. And I was sort of thinking, oh, maybe I'll set up my own label and try and get it done. And it was just like, oh, that's actually organisation. That's really hard. But so in terms of getting into music for TV, I to be honest, the only way I would say is you have to become a TV director and use your own music.
That's the secret.
Which probably isn't the best advice. But other than that, I mean, the labels that we use is quite a lot of extreme music is one, Universal Production Music is another, and Audio Networks is a very big one. But I think you've just got to, I think from what I understand, is that library musics are looking for not just one or two random tracks, but they would like a little kind of album that's a theme. So you might have, say, this is action adventure, and then you've got, say, a demo of 8 tracks of action adventure, or this is trailer music or whatever. But it's a really tough gig, and I think also that whole industry is slightly being undercut or sort of shaken up a little bit by these other music libraries that come in, and I think there's one called Endemic, I think, and they keep the rights themselves and just sort of do buyout. They just sort of buy the track off the writer for not very much, and then say, you can use this it's more like a subscription fee, I think.
Yes, I've seen it. I was wondering about those, actually, how it works.
Something like that, and it means that they no longer get royalties. You writers wouldn't get royalties for those tracks, and I think it's sort of throwing everything up in the wind a bit. And also with the streaming, it's kind of the similar as to Spotify, I think. So, for example, the classic When Luxury Cruises Go Wrong, when
one of my favorites,
when that had one broadcast, I think on Channel 5, I think that the royalty was like £1.50 or something like that. But then it was on demand, and I think I can't remember. I think it was 1,000 streams equals 1p or something like that. So I think that's right, or maybe it's 10,000 streams is 1p. Either way, the streams, like I think it's the same as Spotify. You got to stream everywhere in the whole world. You might get that. So I think that the money is where you're actually writing for the show. They were
actually commissioned. The tie-on-win style.
Actually,
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And to do that, I think you really need, to make, I guess, get in with people making short films, students, that kind of thing, to get a bit of a show reel behind you. I guess would be the way to do it.
Yeah, I've always thought, if there's nothing going, because I've done very little, but I have tried to get in by working with almost like kind of student films and stuff, and going, almost for practice. Do you know what I mean? I'll do the music. If you got like a 3-minute short. And it is quite hard writing to cues and stuff. I can see a package of stuff that makes you've got to make it easy for the people making TV, haven't you? So you've got the theme tune, but you've also got the incidentals, and you've also got the stabs and the stings that can come in and all the rest of it. Do you know if people tend to, once they use something like Extreme or Universal or whatever, do they tend to stick with the same artist, or do they just open up the web page and then?
No, they search in and just they don't care about the artist at all.
Wow.
They look for the something that fits their keywords. And for me, I was from an editor, it would be which library has the best search engine and which has the prettiest covers. That's pretty much it. It's quite shocking, and they have cool names. The Extreme have great names. The terrible puns, all of them. I can't
really?
Any, but each one is.
Isn't that funny?
There's like horror ones that are kind of like creep and screep. I don't know. It's just it's just.
That's when like when Steve Jobs saved Apple by doing Macs in different colours. It's the simplest stuff. Isn't it? It's like just get slightly above the radar, and then you're in. Fantastic.
But it's just what I feel like. I don't really listen to music apart from jams now. That's like literally when I'm working, I'll have YouTube on and I'll just like open up all the jams from people I'm subscribed to and listen to their jams, and it's astonishing. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And I feel like there's such a amount of great music out there that people just aren't hearing, and it's so different. It's visceral and it's got, I don't know, it's got an edge to it that isn't the sort of overly produced stuff that we kind of hear most of the time. And I think there would definitely be a market for it.
That's a really good idea to run a 24-hour radio station. Actually, we could maybe look at doing that just to have them on, because you wouldn't hit any copyright. I mean, you would hit them, but you could knock them back, which is a really nice idea. Do you tend to have it on in the background, or is it I'm going to listen to some jams now?
I tried to work. I have this thing, kind of YouTube guilt, which is kind of weird thing where if I kind of, your little notification thing comes up and it's like, you have 54 notifications, and I'm like, so-and-so's uploaded a jam, so-and-so's uploaded a jam. And I've got kind of a few people that I listen to a lot of, and I feel really bad if I miss one. And, quite often they'll be the same people that will comment on my stuff, and it's a kind of community, I guess. And so I sometimes, I just say, I need to catch up on my YouTube friends. Completely. And then, sometimes I'll be far too busy and I can't get, especially if it's fine if I'm writing, I can kind of have it on the background, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, nice jam. But if I'm actually trying to like listen for music in a film and I can't be listening to other music at the same time, it's
completely. No, I'm the same. I'm the same. People like Sunshine, Brandon Sunshine, who was just on Jamie's show before. He's always on when everyone's asleep because he's US based, and he was like, oh, I can't go on any earlier because I'll clash with so and so, and I was like, oh, so I'm always having to listen to that. Oh gosh. Always having a listen to that kind of after hours. But Icing, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Better late than never, Mr. Really. Thank you, Icing, for your £10 donation to Great Ormond Street. That is super kind of you. Really kind of you. So we probably received about £80 during the course of this show, which is just phenomenal. Thank you so much. It also means I need to I was going to say I need to put new batteries in the horn. I think it's not as loud because Mrs. Wiggly's microphone isn't on. I have it on so loud that it picks up the horn in the background. It didn't feel quite as loud as last time. Thank you, sir. It's really kind of you for that donation, and to everyone who's donated so far for the show and previously as well. Really incredible stuff. More bots, all completely killed with our new selection of fantastic moderators, which is absolutely fantastic. They're obviously doing something right. So really, I guess the only other... feel free if there's any more final questions in on the chat, but let me just check I haven't missed one, because I do star a few as they're coming through. How many of Seb's jams have you fitted into your day job? Says Inky.
I have... recently, I've done over... lockdown, I ended up working on something where I was actually editing it myself as well from this fantastic shed, and I did 2 episodes plus a few others. I was just slamming my music like all as much as I could. Yeah, come on. What's somehow annoying is so the process is that once that once the program's finished, they have what's called a music cue sheet where all the tracks are listed, and that goes part of the broadcaster, and then when they show it, they
pay you your penny or whatever it is.
Go and I thought, I'm going to be earning loads for this. I think half of them somehow got missed. So I've had some from like other ones where I put one in. I was like, I feel like the maths isn't adding up, and I've never had anything from America at all. Like, I don't know why.
So what's the process?
Like, they have a different.
Do you have to have a publishing company, or do you just put yourself down? Where would your money come from?
I think if it would just come from PRS.
Oh, okay. So you register with PRS.
Registered, but if I have a publishing company, then it becomes really complicated because then the TV company has to pay a fee to them, and it all becomes really hard. So I can't publish stuff in a way. Well, I can, but I wouldn't be able to use those published things in my shows as easily or something. I'd say it's really complicated.
So,
and I just like to do it when I can.
So UK people wanting to do this, then PRS is a Performing Rights Society and MCPS is a Mechanical Copyright Protection Society. So generally PRS is live work and broadcast, and MCPS is your mechanical sales of things like CDs and that kind of stuff. So registering with PRS as an artist is really simple, and generally they will collect royalties on their behalf as long as you tell them and register the music that you're making, so that when you come along as a director and say, oh, I fancy some of that, I'll have that in my show, then eventually word gets back to the PRS, and every 6 months they will account to you and you'll get a royalty check. So it's always worthwhile doing, even if you're not even sure if something's going to go. You can push them up into library music sites or whatever.
It's free to join, and it's free to register your tracks kind of thing, but you kind of have to
actively
know whether it's going to
promote them all.
I don't really get it.
I think that's half the trouble as well. I think that's been like that since
it's
the
really
60s.
Complicated.
And manager, I'll take care of that. You don't have to worry about any of that. Just sign this, and it should be simpler. But PRS and MCPS in the UK, if you're UK based, go to their website. They joined forces as well, which makes it even easier. And your publishing is probably worth more than your mechanicals. Is probably the way to look at it. My last question is really the future. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Not necessarily on the music front, but I presume you're mounting these two careers simultaneously.
Well, I mean, I'd love to do more live gigs. I've done a few live things and started playing in the electronic open mic night things, which are good fun. I'd like to do some like support acts and things like that. Would be quite fun. I've done some, and they're immensely stressful and very exciting, and I kind of equally hate doing it, but then afterwards I'm like, that was good fun. But really, I mean, I think just I'm just having fun, I don't really I imagine there'll be more synths gently coming visual gently trying to not dive headlong into Eurorack.
Well, that was something that Grace mentioned. But Movement 81 mentioned when you were talking about buying lots of little things. It said, that is perfect for modular.
Yeah, you see, I think I could sneak them in the door as well without Mrs. Smith finding them. Just like, that's nothing.
It's a dangerous road, but it's fun. I mean, I keep coming back to... I got into Eurorack in a small way you almost use them as effects. And I keep coming back and I think, I could just get an oscillator and I can do this and do that. And it's... I can't use them like Movement 81 though. They just seem to be able to use those things in a not in a 16-bar phrase or a 32-bar phrase. It's very easy with modular to loop stuff continually and turn it off and on, which is great. But somehow they turn theirs into songs more, which is would be what I was trying to do.
I mean, I think that's what I really love about being part of the Hardware Jams community and just the YouTube synth community. It's just there's so much to learn, and it's so inspiring from other artists you pick up. So, I mean, I've learned so much, and when I started, my absolute opinion of techno was just so nasty, and I've really learned to appreciate the skill involved and the talent and stuff. And it's obviously there's still bad stuff that goes but then there's some really lovely kind of moving stuff, and yeah, it's been a great journey to sort of a voyage of discovery. And yeah,
it's
nice.
true actually. You can there's stuff out there that's not for you, not for me. You know, could be good, could be bad. I mean, actually, sometimes I've watched stuff of DJs playing, and I've gone, this track just dropped the mood completely. What's going on there? And then you look in the chat, and everyone's going, "Oh, this is it." This is, you're like thinking, "Okay, all right." You know, I mean, it's I hesitate to say it's completely bad, but there's definitely different genres that fit. And yeah, techno particularly. I don't know. I'm not a DJ. I've worked with DJs. I've not stood there, put the record on, and watched everyone walk off and gone, okay, that one didn't work. Or equally gone there, put the right one on, and everything just explodes. You know, there is a huge art to that. Aside from the technical skill needed to do that kind of stuff, just being the selector, selecting the records is insanely hard sometimes. You know, but techno in general, being able to judge the mood of the crowd and take them on the journey that they need to go on. You only notice it if it's bad. Do you know what I mean? If it's good, no one notices. It's like lyrics. If they're bad, they stick out. If they're good, you don't take any notice of them. You know, and it is. It's a real challenge. And when someone says, "Oh, I could do that," and then you try, it's like it's
really
hard. Exactly.
Yeah. But, yeah, I kind of avoid it as much as I can.
Yes,
don't embarrass myself. Save it for the people who know what they're doing.
Completely.
Yeah.
So live shows though sounds good. Get out there, and the EMOM thing is good to support.
Yeah, I mean that's really good, and it's really nice to meet other people. There's a great little community where I am in Whitstable. There's Peter Coyote and Clive, and there's like a nice little group of, which is amazing. You know, you're in a little seaside town, and then there's a lot of fellow synth nerds. Brilliant,
fabulous.
Which is very cool. And then and then another one, little drive away, but it's worth making a little drive. And what's been lovely as well, actually, what I would like to do more of is we've had a few kind of hardware jam meetups where we've met up in real life.
Oh, wow.
Some of these strange internet friends in real life, and we've had a jam. So we've done that sort of 3 or 4 times. Some in London, some in Brighton, and that's been great actually, and very cool to jam. We hire a rehearsal studio.
Oh, fantastic!
And just try and come up with something.
Brilliant.
And amazingly, it actually works really well. It doesn't. It hasn't been kind of like, no, shush, silence. Everyone needs to hear me and my lead. No, I demand you hear my drums.
Watch for my
signal. It's actually been really, I mean, it's been a little bit of that. I've kind of been sort of given the role of the conductor.
Brilliant.
A little
musical
bit
director, I think
it's
it is.
like kind of, no, come on now. But then meanwhile, it's like that signal is like, oh no, that means stop, not start that. What the hell? And, it's just kind of. It's been great fun. I mean, so some of those jams are on the Hardware Jams channel. They're a good laugh. It's been.
Well, I mean, that's the way it should be, and the fact that the EMOM nights are kind of expanding around the UK. This is the electronic music open mic nights, and getting well attended as well, is a really good thing. A really, really good thing. So, yeah, onwards and upwards. I said it before. I think it's going to break over the parapet quite soon with 1 or 2 artists coming out. I mean, Mark Rebier is the most brilliant example of playing stadiums when he was just working a looper kind of 2 or 3 years ago. And he's obviously an incredibly talented guy, but he's now literally playing stadiums with a loop.
Wow.
Which is just incredible, which is fabulous. But well, thank you so much for your time. Honestly, this has been a real pleasure, a real insight into the whole thing. Really, really good. I thought we'd talk more about TV, because I'd be like scratching the surface, but no, it's all about the music, which is even better. So thank you for that. Really
cool.
Good.
And hopefully Tate will be a guest on his own right one day.
I think he should be. When Lula May's back on, we'll get you back on. It's such a shame that she's away this week, but normal service will be resumed next week. But he's great though. What a fabulous talent. So really cool.
I'm hoping he gets into it, so I can just sort of feel that it's a kind of more, not for him. I mean, okay, a little bit for him, but also it's like, I can't get rid of this. I needed to keep it for my son. And that means I don't need to get. I can still keep more. Oh, I should get this synth. Not for me.
No, for him. Yeah. I think he's showing
love
interest.
A Move 1. I think he would work very well.
He's showing interest in Eurorack, so got him.
Just get a few modules to start. This week.
Oh, brilliant! Thank you. Thank you to everybody also in the chat. To all the people that have donated. Been slightly different this week because obviously Lula May's not around, but thank you for donating in her absence. That's very kind of you. Normal service again next weekend. Not sure who's coming on yet, but I'm sure it'll be a good one. And as I say, expect hopefully some videos, at least 1 or 2 coming out from me in the next couple of weeks, which won't be live streams. There'll be more kind of instrument oriented kind of stuff, a couple of ideas going on, which would be good. So there should be a couple lined up if I can get them edited. And what's next for you, sir? More hardware jams? Are you running your own channel at all, or
I've got
hardware jams?
No, I have my little channel, which is all lovely. I'm happy with that because I reached 666 subscribers a while ago, and that's it. I don't need any more. I'm happy. It's all good.
So that's Sebtic Smile on YouTube.
Yeah. And it's usually just the weekend challenge, and then the odd thing here and there that I upload to that. There's all kinds of crazy stuff on there.
I'm just going to get the URL so we can see. So here we go. Let's find you here. This is your channel coming out now in the chat on YouTube. And everywhere else.
And then I've got to put a set together for Clownfest 9 as well.
Oh, brilliant! You're going to be on it. Excellent.
Playing in that, on day 2. So I need to get myself ready for that. I confess for the Hardware Jams Fest, I left it to last minute and just I need something. Oh my god! And slapped something down. But I kind of was a bit put to shame when I heard some of the other sets. I was like, oh shit. I need to.
I always leave it to the last minute because otherwise it just use up all the time that's available. So it's actually a tactic I use well because you just have to get it finished. I've only dropped out once when it was a disaster, but no, that's. I think I'm on day 1 of those. I think I am. So cool. I'll be able to watch, which is good. Acoustic. Yeah, well, sort of eclectic kind of one. So that's good because you can then watch the rest of it. And as Piero says, we'll keep kind of plugging it. But 23rd to the 27th of September. Look at clownfest.live for information on that. And now you're up to 6. Yeah, hang on. So I was just going to say Sebtic Smile is currently at 681 subscribers. So if everyone can just pop over there and get him up to 700, that would be really cool. I mean, or even 10. There's 50 something people watching now. If you want to pop over there and give him a subscribe before the end, hopefully that would be really cool. Yeah, fabulous. Okay, all right. Well, listen, thanks again. Honestly, brilliant. And big love to Tate. Exceptionally entertaining and very, very good in the quiz. And stay in touch. We'll see you again soon. I'll put all of your details below this video when they crunch it. It takes about a day for everything to crunch through on YouTube, but I'll put all the links so that anyone who's watching this after the event can always pop back and see what's going on. And we'll see you again very soon. Take it easy.
Awesome.
Take care.
Thanks so much, Dom.
No
Take care, mate.
Urbanist connect so with the herb pipe, link up the harmonized, left the termite. But beyond obsolete blessings, a birthright. We live a life which a lot of in us are worldwide. Cosmic love energy, I go herbicide free, organically, me say worthwhile. Watch the way one of you turquoise in terms of definitions and some termites. Yes, I check the eye. One side is defined by one side the other. I.e. I am an idea's man. I assign too much of the qualities of my guy. Who's way back talking like this two of me? One is a construct, one is a creativity. The supreme one, all encompassing information in and of itself, most definitely. Another life infinitely, most life infinitely. Beyond the scripture, niceness can be. Blessed be. I continually miss her. Pick up a being, that's the infinity. Yes.